Now that we've finished making our opening page a little bit more exciting, we're going to go on to the next page and make this a little bit more exciting as well. Now we're going to begin by creating just some very basic dummy graphics so that we can say something goes here, something goes here. And a couple of things that we're going to be adding to this is a photo or two to the page, as well as a pull-out quote. So one of the ways that you see pull-out quotes often done is some sort of box that kind of goes in between two columns, like this. Now it would be nice for us to be able to see our columns, so we need to go back to normal view to see where these columns actually fit. And you'll see they can fit right in between the two, and they snap right to the center there pretty easily. So we'll say that that's going to be where that callout box is, and we can move it up and down as needed. Now I'm going to go ahead and make it fully black so that we can actually see, there we go, back to preview, where that will actually kind of work. The problem with it is that you can notice that the text is not wrapping around it. So we want to go over to the right and find text wrap, and you can find this, of course, we're in the typography settings, and let's go ahead and wrap it around that and just give it a little bit of spacing. That way you can see the wrap goes around it pretty easily. We just have to be aware of where we're putting it and then how tall that's going to be. Now sometimes you'll see that the text wrap underneath it doesn't work great, so sometimes you have to adjust things separately. It's just something to point out. There we go. Now that looks like that's going to work out pretty well, and it doesn't seem to be interfering too much with any of the text. Of course, it doesn't have to be the same size. We can adjust the size so that it's not perfectly centered in any one box, because we have that freedom when we're designing. As long as the other things are on the grid, we can have some flexibility. Not everything has to be absolutely perfect to fitting on that grid. Sometimes it's a little bit more interesting to have it not. But notice the rag on the left hand side. Notice how this is ragging the text. You do want to pay attention to that, and you want to try and choose one that doesn't make really short words like this, or something where it breaks a word at a strange place, like identify, designer Ive. So I would say that we can, look at that. If we just take it back just a little bit, it looks like we can get it to fit a little bit better. We just want to be aware of how it's ragging the text. So anyway, that's going to be where I put another object. So let me put that there. Another object that we're going to be doing is going to be maybe an image. So let's create an image that will go across both. I'll do the same thing. Change it to the black fill and give it a little bit of wrapping. And this is going to be, there we go, this is going to be the Fibonacci sequence photo that we use. Look at that. I need to change those at least. There we go. Now I might be able to take that off and adjust the top and bottom. Oops, left and right, top and bottom. It's not a great idea to make it change that title right there, to break the title into two different pages, or two different lines. So I'm going to adjust that. There we go. Looks like that's a better place to put it. About right there. So that's where that image is going to go. You can see down here they also want a logo as well. So you really have to kind of work with placing all these different graphics. Now, of course, if you want to use one of the other ones that already exist, just take it and duplicate it with the Alt key. That's a lot easier way to use it. And that's actually going to replace the entire IBM logo. Now you should read the text. this is going to be the IBM logo. It says the current and historical versions of the IBM logo can be viewed here and here. Those were linking to websites, so I'm actually going to just take that and just change it here. And that's where the IBM logo is going to go. It's going to fit right in there. And I still have my Fibonacci sequence. Of course, we can adjust that if we need to. There. Seems to be an okay place to put it. Not perfect, but good enough for government work and for a tutorial. So I've basically got 3 graphics that I'm going to be adding. A small graphic here to the side, and I could adjust it a little bit larger. Might be nice. There we go. Of course, this stuff is always a problem because you have to fiddle with it to get it just to work the way that you want. Anyway, I think I made it just a tiny bit larger, and that just makes that a little bit more exciting to see. And I'm going to actually place an image in that container, and I'm going to place some text in that container, and I'm going to place something in that container as well. But before we do that, we should go ahead and save our document and then go on. Now that we've saved our document, we're going to go on to the first part here. And what we'd like to do is add a quote to this right here. So there are a couple ways to look at doing this. First off, we need to give it some color. So if I go to swatches, the colors that I have here are not too good. So I'm actually going to remove all of these colors. Something we probably should have done at the beginning. But we can basically use select all unused colors and then delete them. Right now that should be black, so that shouldn't even be used. So I might click off of it and then remove that color so it's not being used. And what I'd like to do instead is use colors that work with my scene. So if I go to the Window Extensions Cooler, this is a great thing to use. This allows me to grab some colors that might be much better for this. So here's one for Haiti, which has some Haiti relief that has some kind of warm earth tones, and same with Firenze has some warm earth tones, and they might work well with my particular document. So whatever you choose, what you want to do is find the colors that you want to use, and then go ahead and add these to your theme. I think you can, let's see, how do we do it? I should know. Oh, it's just added to the swatches down here on the right. There we go. So I just added those to the swatches. Now I can select that or select that and change the colors as needed. Alright, so what we're going to do is add some text inside here, so we need to find out what text we're going to use. So I was reading something in here, and this is pretty cool. It has to be in the gut before it has any chance of making it into the head. It to the head, I guess. So that's a pretty good quote. Or maybe this: if you want your logo to be remembered and recognized, you've got to provide payoff for the viewer. You're trying to choose some sort of quote that you think somebody is going to read and really want to pay attention. Anyway, select your text afterwards, or your box, and you'll notice that when I go to click inside of it, when I have the type tool, it shows that it's going to actually insert text inside. So then I can paste that text and then change it. Now, right now it's tied to the body text, so I'm going to take it back to basic paragraphs so it's not tied to the body text and start changing stuff. Let's see, we've got, maybe I will go to the Myriad Pro, condensed italic. I'm going to take the size up quite a lot, and I'm going to change it to white. And then let's go to the paragraph styles and call that a callout. We'll call it callout 1. Now what we need to do is make this fit in the center of our box. So we'll right click, go to our text frame options, and do some spacing. and then also center it in the box, which is nice, and you can even center the text. So if I go back to my character styles or paragraph, there it is, paragraph settings, I can center that, go to my paragraph styles, and redefine that. And then we might need to adjust things here and there, of course. You'll see that it's not fitting that text just right, so I might just adjust this size a little bit more. Because payoff to the viewer is not really great. So maybe we can try making the text a little bit larger. Obviously, it takes a little bit of getting used to be able to get this set just the way you want. Might redefine that style if we need to, just to make sure that anytime we use it again, it will be consistent. Now with this one here, we're going to actually go, we can either pull it in from dragging it in from X in View, or we can go to our command, the place command. But I'm going to click and drag this image. So let's just make sure that this has the settings we need. And it does, it's 150. So I'm going to take that icon, drag it in, and this time I'm going to actually drag it right into that box, and you'll see it places it right into it. Then I can edit the image inside and get it cropped just perfectly. On this one, it's going to use the logo for IBM, so I can find the IBM logo and drag it into the same exact spot. Now that particular logo is much larger. So the nice thing about this is we can actually fill that logo to the box itself by right-clicking on the box, selecting the box, then right-clicking on it and going to Fitting. And I'm going to go ahead and fit the, fit content to frame. Now it's not proportional, so I'm going to go back and go to Fitting, Fit Frame to Content. Fit content proportionally. There we go. That's exactly what I want. That way it is proportional and it's fitting in there properly. Now I can go ahead and remove the fill from that particular object. So go to Swatches, go to None as the fill, and you'll see that that IBM logo can kind of fit there. Now we can play around with the placement of it, so maybe it rags the line just a little bit. That creates a little bit more interest, of course. So I've finished placing that, and I did want to go over one last thing, and that is this. I'd like to put some text on here. Now, what I had to do in order to do this is right-click on that text frame and choose Ignore Text Wrap. That way, that little text, which right now is using the copyright style, can fit on top. Anyway, this kind of shows you the basic skills that you need in order to accomplish a document in InDesign. And of course, there'll be more skills that you will need throughout the entire process, but you'll find out a lot of that stuff as you go forward. Now, you can find a bunch of tutorials that I've already made that were on InDesign CS4 that go through individual skills more than a full document like this. I just wanted you to be aware of how you kind of piece together something. So save your work here and save out a PDF as well and submit it, and that's it. Thanks.